Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's Pete Olson, the Montana Silver Stacker. I thought now would be a good time to kind of start, not start, but start up again some of my politics videos and my politics category as we start kind of gearing towards 2020 here. Even though we're in the beginning parts of 2019. But, I just can't help myself because the crazy lunatic left has so much material for me because they're so nutty and crazy. It's just fun to do these videos. And today I'm going to talk about the Green New Deal by the left-leaning, America-hating, crazy liberal party, and how it would destroy the American dream, right? And create the greatest American nightmare that, we've ever seen in our lifetimes. So this non-binding resolution called the Green New Deal, it was brought up by, God, the most wacky human being I've ever seen, the communist AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and she's from the state of New York, and many, even running for president, support it. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It's so fantasy-based, guys, based on fairy tale hopes and dreams with zero basis in our current reality of life and what's happening on a lot of different bases. So there's never been a more economically destructive, job-killing, environmentally harmful, costly, and impractical and stupid proposal that has ever been drawn up in the history of the United States from members of Congress and White House hopefuls. I mean, it is on that level of nutty. So it's not only, the Green New Deal is not only impossible to achieve, just trying to get this deal done, accomplish this deal, is harmful. It's absurd. It would send America into another Great Depression. It would throw tens of millions of Americans out of work and turn what we now have as the American dream, the greatest economy ever in America under Donald Trump, into an American nightmare, as I said in the very, very beginning. If our government ever tried to seriously implement the Green New Deal, if they seriously tried to do it, wealth would disappear, okay? We'd all be poverty-stricken. Look at Venezuela, right? And America would be turned into a third world country. I want you to think about that for a second. We'd go from the number one superpower to a third world country. That's how absolutely nuts and bonkers it is. So another result of this nightmarish proposal would be a completely different crisis than we currently have down on our southern border. So instead of the U.S. government trying to keep migrants out and worrying about the migrants streaming into America legally to build better lives for themselves, right? That's what they're trying to do, all these illegals trying to come into America. Mexico and Canada would have to deal with millions of Americans fleeing America. Now, I want you to think about that. They'd be fleeing the poverty and the hopelessness of the United States of America if the Green New Deal were enacted. Think about this, guys. But it's not a surprise, is it? The America-hating liberals have always wanted this since the 60s, something like this, right? Why? Because liberals hate America. They hate our past. They hate our founders. They hate white men. They hate American sovereignty. They hate that America is so great. They hate the foundations of our country. They hate marriage. They hate religion, right? Anti-religion, anti-American, anti-male. anti anything that's fruitful and wholesome, if you will. They are anti-wealthy. People working their ass off. They want the guy sitting on the couch eating fucking Cheetos to make as much as the guy busting his ass building a business. No, this is fucking America. This is a republic. You want to sit on your ass and eat Cheetos? Do so. But you ain't going to have a fucking dime in your account. And you're not going to take it away from me, right? So you literally could fill a book with all the incredibly harmful consequences that you would get from the Green New Deal. So this plan, one of the big proponents of this plan, it would require destroying tens of thousands of acres of land to build thousands of new solar and wind facilities. Think about that. Think about how fucking stupid that is. And would eliminate millions of jobs in the oil, gas, and coal industries by banning nearly all fossil fuels in the next 10 years. We couldn't survive without those things, guys. Wind, right? Solar won't cut it. It never could cut it. It never will cut it. Okay? You can add it in addition to, but you can't run a country on it. It would also put upon us numerous socialist policies that are very costly, like single-payer health care, a federal jobs guarantee. Could you imagine guaranteeing someone a fucking job and upgrading all existing buildings in the United States, including every home? Can you imagine you got to upgrade Joe fucking Schmo's house down on the corner because he's a lazy fuck, right? And we got to pull the slack because he's a lazy fuck? Let him rot in fucking hell. I swear to God, it's absolutely incredible. So, since this has come out, right, this Green New Deal, there's been a fact sheet, there's been frequently asked questions that were released on February 7th by AOC, Ocasio-Cortez, and Senator Markley, I believe. And numerous radical parts of the proposal have received significant attention. So those very radical parts are a promise to provide economic security. Can you imagine guaranteeing someone economic security? If their fucking fat ass is too lazy to get off the fucking couch, fuck them, okay? And for those who are unwilling to work, so you could say you're unwilling to work, but the government has to take care of you. That's communism. And making air travel obsolete by building a nationwide high-speed rail network. How the fuck is that going to work? How am I going to get to the UK? Not only is this so crazy, but the liberals are so fucking stupid. It's a 5-year-old has more sense than a fucking liberal. I mean, that's how stupid they are. They're that dumb. So here's some other points that are so ludicrous about it that it'll make your head spin. Okay, listen to this. The Green New Deal leadership should be inclusive, right? Except if you're a white guy. See, that's what they mean by inclusive. The left always wants to talk about inclusive, except if you're a white male. Right? They say, fuck the white male. And they've always hated the white male, right? Because it represents the people that started this great country, the hard workers, right? The people with huge dreams. So they talk about inclusion and wanting everyone and fairness, except so they're so hypocritical. They're so stupid. They don't even know how hypocritical they are. Okay. So this Green New Deal would ensure the use of democratic and participatory processes, if you will, that are inclusive and led by the front line of vulnerable communities. Vulnerable. No, they're not vulnerable. They're fucking lazy. Okay. And workers to plan and implement and administer the Green New Deal at a local level, right? Who are the vulnerable communities, right? Indigenous, they call them the communities of color, migrant communities, deindustrialized communities, depopulated rural communities, the poor, low-income workers, women, because we know how bad the women have it, right? the elderly, the unhoused, people with disabilities and youth, everyone except for white men. I mean, it is the craziest shit. It's called get up off your fucking ass and get to work. It doesn't have anything to do with skin color. It has to do with how bad do you want it, right? So you could be a lazy fuck, and then they're going to redistribute your money from the wealthy to the lazy fuck, right? That makes a whole lot of sense, okay? So, kind of conclusion on that point, everyone should be involved in the Green New Deal leadership except for able-bodied white men who are middle class or wealthy. They're fucked, right? This is the most racist and sexist provision, and it's particularly strange considering that one of the primary co-authors of the resolution, Senator Markey, is a wealthy white man. Again, liberalism is a mental disorder. They're so stupid, they don't realize how stupid they are. The second big point that's so crazy is that the Green New Deal's cost is so high that no amount of taxation could ever pay for it. We know that Barack Obama spent more money in his 2 terms than all the other presidents combined. That's all the liberals do, is spend money like it grows on trees and tax. That's how stupid they are, right? How will the Democrats pay for it? They'll print trillions of dollars, money that we don't have, right? It's just absolutely insane. Another thing, they promised tuition-free college for millions of students. Who the fuck is going to pay for that, right? If the government was going to pick up the tab for every one of these students, the total annual cost would be about $133 billion over, or $1.3 trillion over 10 years. And that doesn't include the cost of the 6.7 million students attending 2-year schools. Who's going to pay for it? The socialist proposals, guys, stem from the same Marxist ideology that has, along with the huge national debts that have occurred, absolutely decimated countries like Venezuela and the former Soviet Union. But they're so stupid, they can't even see evidence right before their eyes. There's never been a socialist nation that has ever prospered, ever. Guys, I'm going to enjoy this run up to the re-election of Donald Trump. The Green New Deal, the most recent work of the crazy lunatic left. Liberalism is truly a mental disorder. God bless you guys. Pete Olson, the Montana Silver Stacker. Have a good one.